Hi, I'm Michael with Peace and Favor, where our goal is to challenge you to be the best version of yourself. Thank you for taking time to check out this video. The information I'll be sharing has been gleaned from my personal and professional experiences. My target audience is actually young adults, but I strongly believe that you're never too old to make a positive change in your life. This is chapter 1 of our new series entitled Take Your Best Shot. Life is simple, but navigating through challenging situations can make every day feel like an unrelenting trial. The trajectory of your life is the direct result of the choices you make and the actions you take. First, we're going to look at how you got to this point in your life. Then we'll focus on improving your awareness and level of accountability. And from that point, you will take on the responsibility of improving your quality of life. The key to being successful in the future is strategic decision making. Now, we're going to go back to the beginning. And by that I mean, as a baby, each of us start out with overflowing potential and possibilities. The key question is, what or who will we become? Remember the 3-step program for infants that I mentioned in the last video? Well, for those of you who are new, I'll repeat it. 1, eat. 2, sleep. 3, poop. Now, if babies can get these 3 things down, you know that they're going to be happy babies. All right? And that's a great start. But these 3 steps are something that we have to reflect back on for the rest of our lives. When I say reflect back on, we need to be checking them on a regular basis. Are we eating well? Are we sleeping well? Are we pooping well? And for those of you who kind of gray around the edges, have been around a while, you know that pooping is no joke. But for a little baby, it's no joke either. But if those things are out of order, if those things aren't working well, it will disrupt any development we have. It'll actually probably most diseases we have, most maladies we have, when it look to how to address them, what remedies we have available, they will say, improve your diet, or this is diet related. Need to improve your sleep, all right? Or you're having some digestive issues and your poop is letting you know something's not right when it's off. But as babies, you know they need to eat, sleep, and poop, those 3 things. But please don't think that it ends with your infancy. As you get older, coming to a toddler, preschooler, etc., that 3-step program becomes a 4-step program. So in addition to eat, sleep, and poop, we have to also add socialization, socializing. All right? And so we have to learn how to interact with other people. And then as we get older, entering adolescence, approaching adulthood, we add a 5th step, which is sex. And so we have to eat well, sleep well, poop well, socialize well, and I guess have good sex. But make sure that we're actually healthy in all of those areas, all 5 areas. If there's an issue again with any of those areas, it's going to disrupt our development as well as our ability to grow and develop and really impair our interactions with other people. So we have our 5-step plan that we're going to have long term. We start off with 3, then 4, then 5. Now, if we do have those 5 areas taken care of, plus we learn how not to offend other people, we'll probably have pretty decent lives, okay? Now, this is just surface level stuff, but important, from a foundational basis. As you know, humans are social beings. And thus our learning is often conducted in social settings. And from the time we're a baby, we are learning, and it continues throughout our life, or throughout most people's lives. But these teachings, for lack of a better term, take place in different forms. As a little kid, it's kind of like we're indoctrinated. Like, this is what it means to live in our family. So parents are teaching the kids about life, eating, sleeping, pooping, checking constantly to make sure those things are happening all right, teaching them how to walk, how to talk. But as you get older, when I say the indoctrination, it's like conditioning. It's like programming, because you want your child to behave, right? I just want your children to behave. And what that means is behave in a way that you think is proper. And depending on the culture and the community, the family itself, that varies. But again, that's why I say it's kind of indoctrination. It's like, it's saying, this is how we live, whoever the we are, but this is how we live. And so be it something that's in a house, in a community, in a city, a state, a region, all those things, each level is something that the child be indoctrinated in. And that indoctrination will take the form of conditioning, where this is like what you can say, what you can't say, when to reach, when not to reach, when to speak, when not to speak. And so as young people, that's an important piece. All right. And this brings to mind the families that go to the grocery store or to the restaurant. And it's like, please don't embarrass me. All right. And you can tell the ones who have taken time to condition their kids, to indoctrinate them, to prepare them to be out in public, and those who have not. It's obvious. Then we reach another level where, and this is usually around, again, school age, where it's not direct indoctrination and programming or conditioning. It's really more of impressions. I like to talk about how kids are impressionable. And this is a little bit more nuanced, where role modeling and dealing with relationships, in other words, socialization, where we're learning not by what people are specifically telling us, we're learning by watching how people interact. And that is a lot. There's so much nonverbal teaching that goes on. And so you learn from watching others, again, when to say, what you can say, what you can do around this person, what you can't do around the other, how a man treats a woman, how a woman treats a man, what it's like when two women get together, what it's like when two men get together, how people deal as far as power and authority. And those are a little nuanced. In groups, who takes the lead, who doesn't, who you follow, who you don't. Again, when to speak up, when not to. But again, these are usually done by someone will give you a look that you know, okay, that wasn't the right move. Or they'll give you another look where it's like the smile, etc. It's like, okay, that was a good one. All right. But again, when it comes to the impressions, that's more nuanced, and a lot of times it's nonverbal, but you're just watching people's interactions. The next one we get to is actual education, where you're actually being taught the approved lessons, be it through school, through church, it may be through literature, through writings, maybe through lectures. And like if you're talking about church, you're talking about like a sermon, or maybe using the scriptures in some way. But a lot of times it's with family, it is nonverbal, or it's verbal in this way, and they're telling you stories, but you have to pay attention so you learn what is the good part of the story and what's the bad part of the story, so that you know how to navigate these areas and again, relationships. Again, socialization is so important. And then you get to a point where it's about literally skills training. You have talents and abilities, you get some idea what you want to do. But the skills training starts when you're young. Walking, into running, into playing. And playing can assist you, the things you learn there, with whatever job or activity you get involved in later on. But all of it runs together. Okay, so be it from something very basic as, baby, don't grunt when you're sitting on the stool, you're gonna hurt yourself. Okay? Which later on, those who don't learn that lesson end up having things like anal fissures and stuff, so they're bleeding out the butt because they're blowing out one of the blood vessels there. But again, the lesson started when you were young. When it comes to socialization, you have people who never learned to get along with other people, who actually think that the world revolves around them. All right, and it's very difficult for people around those types of people. All right, and so you'll find that if a person hasn't been socialized properly, they don't have much empathy for other people. And they don't realize that maybe your opinion isn't the only opinion. All right. Or the flip side, where someone thinks that their opinion doesn't matter, and so they don't speak up and they only follow. That's that role they've taken in. I'm a follower, not a leader, and everything in between. But these things start as a kid, but how you start is pretty much determines how you're going to keep going. We start off with almost a blank slate. Our parents imprint what they think we should be doing based on interactions with people at home, school, and church. We then get higher levels of skills as far as interacting and dealing with people. And then there's that piece where we have young people who are just naturally curious. All right. And they're always asking why. Okay. And what if and how. And these are the difficult kids. Difficult not because they're troublemakers, but because they put you to the test. Because a lot of times you ask a person why. If you're an adult, the adult will respond, because I told you so. All right. When the youth wants to know, but why? When you're teaching math, you tell them, do this step, then that step, then that step. And the kid will ask, but why? Okay? And they want to be able to reason through what's going on. If you can't reason through, then really just have to memorize something. But it really doesn't set in their soul, in their spirit. Okay? And then you have people who will just go through life with, someone told me to do something, so that's what I did. And there are kids like that, and they become adults like that. And but in this chapter, I just want to introduce to you that we all start at baby level, all right? But we've also been trained since the time we were babies on how to behave, what to think, how to think, what to say, what not to say. But we are unique individuals. And at some point, you're going to have to be you. And for many adults today, they don't know who they are. They never develop into an individual. All they are is a continuation of their parents, of their friends. They walk the same path their parents walked, or they walk the same path their friends walked, or their cousins walked. That is fine when you're a child, but as an adult, it's like you're going to lack fulfillment because you never had the goals, the objectives that were based on what's going to make you feel complete as a human. And in this series we're doing now, Taking Your Best Shot, I really want to take time slowly to first to address us in general, and then to move that responsibility onto you, but being strategic in how we do it. Got a lot of things that we're going to review in the coming sessions. Again, but thank you for again for watching this video. Hope you'll like it. Subscribe to the station. Go ahead and email me at michael@peaceandfavor.com. Visit the website as well. And until next time, God bless.